All right, people, what is going on today? Today we're going to be talking about Reddit and Ethereum. Now, I made a video about this a little while ago. If you're on Library, then you've probably seen it. If you're on YouTube, then you probably haven't. But I'm making this as a little update since they have actually updated what's been going on. So let me give like a broad overview, and then we'll zoom on in. So Reddit, if you don't know what it is, all it is a website that has different forums based on your interest. So currently, I'm following a couple of Reddit pages. For example, I am following r/cryptocurrency, where they talk about, as you can see here, the official source for cryptocurrency news, discussion, and analysis. Uplifting news, anything related to uplifting stuff. I'm following Supreme Clothing. Whenever a new clothes drops, I go ahead and see that. But you get my gist. The point is that you can pretty much any of your interests, you can come on Reddit and find it here. So Reddit recently introduced something called community points. Now, these can actually be used as a measure of reputation within the community. We can actually scroll down here. We'll see a little fact. But and they can unlock premium features, right? Now this is again they just introduced this a couple months ago, uh, very recently. But the point of these community points is that you'll have full ownership of them, right? So the way you'd get them is by contributing to the community, whether that be quality posts that you make or maybe comments that you put up as well, just stuff that the community actually supports. Not to mention, again, the main point of this is that they're completely controlled by you. And when we say community points, these are essentially just tokens on the blockchain, right? That's kind of the whole point. I think Reddit used to have, I think they have something called Karma right now. They also have their own little coins here, which you can pay for. Completely separate, nothing to do with it. I'm not sure if community points will take over one or the other. It might actually take over the coins, but that's yet to be seen. But the point is that Reddit is pretty much making it clear that they want to introduce cryptocurrency to the platform. They understand the importance of it. Not to mention just the fact that, and I think I said it twice already, but the fact that you completely own it yourself. So let's just say for whatever reason Reddit were to go down tomorrow, for example, right? You wouldn't lose those. Like you would literally own your own cryptocurrency or your own points, I guess you could say. So it could live on essentially beyond Reddit, which is really cool. Again, I mean, this can apply to almost any company or industry, whatever. Uh, and not to mention, yeah, it can't be taken from you, like whether it be moderation or whatnot. Again, you have full control over it, right? So the problem is that, from what I understand, and they're currently rolling this out to two different communities. That's Fortnite Battle Royale. Not sure why. I think they're called bricks there. That's what they call the commodity there, or the token. And then in the cryptocurrency, r/cryptocurrency, they call them moons. Very fitting. But the problem currently is that Reddit is paying pretty much for all the fees for every transaction that occurs. Whether it be again in both communities. So obviously they want to come up with a competition, or not competition, but they want to come up with a way so that they don't have to do that anymore. I mean, the first way is making people pay for their own transfers, or when they get rewarded and whatnot, which is the obvious one. But comes the issue: what if they don't have enough cryptocurrency or Ethereum to pay for each transfer, right? Not to mention you don't want it to be complicated for people who are using the platform. It's supposed to be something that is easy to understand and get. And I definitely get that. So they came up with something called the Great Reddit Scaling Bake Off. So essentially here, they really just wanted to come up with this so that they can find out, okay, the base layer of Ethereum, the mainnet, cost way too much to send transactions on a daily basis. When Ethereum usage, like when people are using Ethereum a lot, the platform, people are sending Ethereum back and forth. People are sending ERC20 tokens back and forth. They're calling contracts. The network itself becomes very congested, and thus it costs a lot to be included in the next block. That's why the Ethereum transactions cost so much. So currently, I think it's about. I think I went to the Ether gas station and it's not even loading up for me. So it's quite a bit. Last I checked, it's about a couple of cents, like 40 cents or something like that for a regular transaction. And for a contract, like if you want to call a contract within Ethereum, it's a couple dollars at least. It's pretty expensive. So that's why they have the bake off, where essentially they're saying, okay, and this was launched a month ago, by the way, but essentially they're saying, look, we want to use cryptocurrency as a, pretty much like going forward, like completely. Like they definitely want to do it, otherwise they wouldn't have posted this. And they're working in conjunction with the Ethereum Foundation to see if maybe members of the community have a way to scale on Ethereum. so that they're able to actually pay for users who are, conducting their transactions on Reddit, but also, that again they have their own custody over it too. So that has to make sense because if it costs them an arm and a leg to do it, they're not going to do it. So with that being said, there are a couple of projects that have already gone ahead and applied or brought in their proposal. But let me just show you what they're asking for first. So the first thing they're asking for is that it can scale. Again, I mean, they actually have some of the requirements here. So over a 5-day period, they're saying that it should scale up to 100,000 point claims, minting and distributing points. So that means transferring tokens back and forth and minting new tokens. 25,000 subscriptions, which I guess would also be a smart contract. 75,000 one-off points burning, smart contract, and 100,000 transfers. So regular, just back and forth. Now, mind you, like this is a lot. 5-day period, you should be able to handle this stuff. So these projects have to come up with something that can do this, obviously. The second thing they're looking for is decentralization. So, of course, it shouldn't depend on any one other company for it to keep up. Like, for example, if I have a company and I went ahead and proposed it, if my company goes down, this system should still be able to work just fine. Again, hence the idea of using blockchain in the first place. Decentralization is key. Usability. So, of course, scaling solutions should have simple end user experience. Now, this obviously, crypto is very... a lot of people don't get crypto, right? If you're watching this video, you probably do. If you're watching this video and you don't get it, then maybe watch some of my other videos. Maybe some of them will make more sense. But the point is that for the average everyday person, they don't want to have to worry about whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's a point, whether it's this or that. They just want it to work. And obviously Reddit sees that. And of course, it needs to be simple. And again, as far as I'm concerned, it should be that people don't even realize that they're using cryptocurrency. Obviously, Reddit is going to kind of show that they are. Oh, it's my phone.
You need to unlock your device to do.
Okay, sorry. You know what I mean? So obviously Reddit is going to say that they're doing it, but they don't need to at the end of the day. They shouldn't have to. So it should be easy for people to use. Interoperability. So it should be able to interact with different applications, whether it be your wallets. So for example, MetaMask, if you have that in your browser, like, it can plug into the browser wallet and use it from there. Should be able to call contracts from. You should be able to call it from a contract, for example, and whatever else. Essentially, should be able to integrate with other applications or systems as well. So it's flexible. Security. Again, people have to have full ownership, control of their points, which at the end of the day means that they can't control the private keys. The people need to be able to control it, and of course, they have to be able to show them that they can control it too, or how to control it if they wanted to. And a bunch of other considerations. Of course, fully open source solutions is probably going to be closest to the what they want to see. But it's pretty crazy how they're doing all this stuff, right? The last thing I wanted to touch on was the actual companies who ended up, or projects as well, who ended up actually applying for this. You'll see here there's a full list of actual projects or whatever who wanted to apply to it. The ones I personally know are Syscoin. I think Starkware I've heard of, Matic Network, Raiden. A couple of these projects, which are very interesting, and there's a bunch of different ways to do this. That's why they're proposing and seeing if the community has any ideas. And I'm actually looking at the Cointelegraph article who talks about it. So kind of just looking into this, since it shows one of the top 4, I guess. Aztec, they're proposing a private ZK rollup, where essentially, and Ethereum 2.0 is actually supposed to have ZK rollups as well. So it's interesting to see that now. But essentially, they're saying, okay, we can actually make these transactions private when people are sending them back and forth, which keeps people's anonymity intact. And they can also use ZK rollups, which kind of, what's it called? The rollups account for the being able to send multiple transactions at once. So instead of sending one transaction through and making that take up the space, roll them all up together, let's say about 20 transactions, and you can send them all at once as well, right? So that's where that comes into play, and I'm sure it'll work very well. OMG Network, they use something called Plasma, but this is different too. So I don't know if they have their own token, Aztec, but OMG has their own token built on the Ethereum network as well. So they're using Plasma, it looks like, or side chains as a scaling solution instead of ZK rollups. And then you have a Scale using decentralized cloud computing. Wow, that's pretty cool. And then Everest as a or proposing their blockchain as a second layer, which is what Syscoin is doing as well. Like a bridge, I guess you could say, actually. So maybe not their blockchain. But the point is that there's many different ways to do this, to scale Ethereum. And you could make the argument that Ethereum has failed essentially because the fact that they can't operate off the main network means that Ethereum doesn't work. And to a certain extent, you'd probably be right. I mean, Vitalik himself admitted that, you know, you should not be using the main network for Ethereum if you're not calling smart contracts. Like if you're just sending tokens back and forth or Ethereum back and forth, use a second layer network. That's literally what he said. Um, and again, that goes to show like the fact that he can admit that. Obviously, this isn't his own company, but he was obviously a big proponent in making this. So the fact that he can admit that and say what people should do is pretty dope in my opinion. And the fact that you have all these people working on different solutions out of their own volition is pretty awesome too. So not to mention, I don't know if they're actually going to be paying anyone for the solution. Just want to bring that up. I mean, obviously, if you if you make a coin or a company that's able to scale Reddit on Ethereum, it pays off in dividends, I'm sure. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully this was of interest to you. I thought I'd kind of cover this a little bit. Let me know how you think I'm doing. I mean, I'm trying to again write things down so it makes a lot more sense. Things are more canonical in that way, and again, it just comes off as like an actual, I guess you could say, story instead of me just going back and forth with stuff. But leave a comment. If you want me to talk about something specific next time, and let me know. Do you guys use Reddit? And if so, what forms do you use? And if you do know a lot about cryptocurrency, which scaling solution would you like to see? I'll tell you, I think OMG Network might be the coolest one. I think, I think Matter Labs. So, I don't want to get into it, but yeah, let me know which ones you'd like to see. I'd probably like to see OMG Network myself or Matter Labs. Pretty cool. But thanks for watching, and tune in for the next one. Peace.